So I had known a sister from my RBC that had been to Granada before. She was looking for someone to go with her as a partner, so me and Lydia came down.
Well, actually, I remember the scene pretty vividly as we were getting pizza. And I don't remember this at all. Let me refresh your memory. We were getting pizza, and he just kind of asked me if I wanted to go to Nicaragua because we had been planning like a trip. You know, we wanted to go somewhere we didn't know where. We thinking maybe Canada, maybe like east across the U.S. But anyways, he knows people down here, like Shays. So it was a place to stay, and we wanted to go somewhere. I really like traveling, so I think it's good to go out and get rides.
I had traveled to different places for the ministry, but just for a month or 2 months at a time, and I never wanted to leave where I went, so it just became like that desire to actually stay somewhere and be able to live and help.
Well, we'd always wanted to do something like this as well with our family, but just never had the opportunity. And then when Tasha moved down here, the word spread, and our friends were wanting to come and visit. So last year we all went the migration down and loved it and wanted to come back again for a little bit more.
Well, I just retired, so I retired in Sydney. I sort of would still have to work because it's so expensive, and I thought, I think I've worked enough and I'd like to find it. So I couldn't find it here in Sydney really, it's too difficult. So I knew some brothers that were here in Shenandoah. So I got rid of everything, got down to 2 suitcases, and here I am. Here I am 7
My family is Nicaraguan, and in 2011 we actually came here because my grandmother was sick. So we came as an emergency, wasn't planning on staying or anything. I was able to preach here with the English group, and it was just a group, and I loved it. They became my family, so I stayed for about 4 months.
We had the desire to move to a small congregation in Nelson, but they dissolved, and we wanted to go to a place that needed more help, so this is what I came.
Actually, my cousin, she was going to come to Nicaragua, and it wasn't planned that I was going to come with her. Her name is Oscar.
You'll meet her later.
Yeah, you'll meet her later. But she was going to come down, and it was going to be with another sister. And so, I wasn't planning on ever coming, but when a turn of events came and I could go, I didn't turn it down. I'm like, oh, it's my first time out of the country, So I got my passport.
Go, girl.
Go.
My parents have wanted me and my brother to experience something like this for a while, and fortunately there was a brother in our congregation who had been coming to Nicaragua. You may know him, his name is Ginger Way. So yeah, so Holy Spirit was kind of moving us in that direction.
Be honest, be completely honest.
Okay. Warm, dirty, and poor. That's about it.
Okay.
I think the physical things are very confronting for someone that comes from a country like I did from Australia.
I hated it. I got here and I was super overwhelmed. I didn't know Spanish. I was hot and sweaty, and I was ready to go into tears because I wanted to go home.
I remember thinking how different it was. The landscape and everything being in Spanish, billboards and, stop signs and all that stuff was in Spanish.
The biggest impression is the difference in the people and the way they react to the ministry. I asked one man if he believed in God, and he was quite indignant with me. He said, "Of course I do." I said, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you." I said, "Well, where I come from, people don't really believe in God." And he was totally shocked. And that made a big impression.
Well, like these two, it was really hot. That was my first impression. And the city itself, I didn't really like until I met the congregation. And then that's what changed my impression of it.
biggest challenge was like going to a completely new country, not knowing anybody, so you feel like really alone.
One of the challenges for me is providing for myself. When I went back, I was able to work for a full year and then come. But it's kind of like you never know how long it's going to last you. You try to plan it and make sure that you keep a budget.
When we first came, the challenge of eating and drinking and, you know, like being a mom, you know, you want to make sure everybody's healthy and stuff. So that was a little challenge the first time.
Probably the difference, because we didn't know like what to expect. This is the first time being here.
My biggest challenge was that I had my very first very progressive Bible study at home. It was hard to leave her at home, hoping that she'd, you know, still do well. And she made a lot of progress while I'm gone, and to miss some of the first things that she was doing is kind of hard.
It took me a day in service to figure out that walking would be a great challenge. You know, all the walking you have to do, whether, you know, you're walking to the territory or walking from where you're staying to the Kingdom Hall. You know, like, it was much worse, you know, when I first got here, the first time I came. But now, you know, I'm a little used to it, but still walking is a challenge.
I think really not being able to speak Spanish is you know, a real big problem. You think you're coming to an English congregation, so you will learn Spanish eventually. But yeah, every time I go to the movies and to do something with my mobile phone, I have no idea what they're telling me. So it's a bit of a challenge.
This time I think the biggest challenge was the language.
Spanish, you know, being surrounded by, you know, a different language.
The language is definitely the biggest challenge for me. I took a Spanish class in school before I came here, but I have a really short attention span, so it didn't really work.
You just want to find an English person at every door, but there's a searching one here, right? And it's a little frustrating and a challenge when you're on the ministry and you go to that house that you think you're going to find somebody and then they're not there, or you can't quite find the same house. So it's still a little challenge, it's just being patient.
For me, the biggest challenge is probably fear of the unknown, because this is way outside my comfort zone. But I knew it was something I wanted to do, so I like pushed myself into it.
I got more 10.
Joe was good.
Jehovah always steps in and provides. Like, I was able to work here. We had a little waitressing job for a little bit. I was teaching English at a school. And even when I went back to it for about 3 months, I went with no job, and I went, you know, to look for one. And I was able to find and actually gather enough money to come back and save me enough for this time. So it's amazing to see how Jehovah really does take care of you. Half of the time, I don't know how long I'm going to be here for, or how long, you know, Jehovah takes care of you.
When I met the brothers and sisters in the congregation, it felt like home. You know, everyone welcomed you, they're all happy. Seeing all the different types of people from everywhere coming here to do this, it's very encouraging. And it's encouraged me to want to serve where the need is greater, which is the complete opposite of what I wanted to do before. So I think all the brothers and sisters here are helping me to figure out what I want to do with my life, because now I know that I want to serve where the need is greater.
I think it's wonderful to be with brothers and sisters that all have the same goal, and the same thing.
Meeting the brothers and sisters in the hall was definitely a benefit for me.
Something is like the brothers and sisters like really welcome and stuff, because I'm usually kind of a shy person. Like, I have a hard time hearing people at meetings, so probably like the ministry coming up and talking to people and nice and kind.
Well, I came here knowing that this was something that I did want to do in the future, so I was hoping I'd meet brothers and sisters that would encourage me to be able to make that goal, and that's exactly what I've done. Like, everybody here has shared experiences with me that made me think, I can do this, I can go home, but I can come back and be able to do this long term. And so I think that's been the biggest blessing, is meeting people that have done this and they're going to do it.
And also the scene of the sisters last night, the way they went out into the wilds. I was just in awe. And I thought, I think I'd die if I went that way. And they're just, I mean, they're not superhuman. They're just people. And it just draws you close to Jehovah and more, and makes you rely on Jehovah. And see his love for the people that are in remote places. He wants to get the good news to them first.
Pictures last night. That was great. You're having a bad day driving around in your car in Oregon. Well, just don't be babies. There are people walking miles for 14 hours a day, and sure they like bicycle. Yeah. So I think that's definitely a blessing.
The joy that you get from just seeing how the truth affects other people. How they for the first time they hear God's name and what it means, and what this means that He fulfills all His promise. Like just the face that they make there, how their eyes widen, just it's amazing. It's something that I never experienced in Chicago, having progressive Bible studies. So that the ministry is amazing, in English and in Spanish.
Well, ministry was definitely blessing, being able to start Bible studies and going back to people who are interested.
To have a small part in drawing other people closer to God, that's an amazing feeling, and that's something that I will cherish forever, like long into the new system. I know that we're all going to be talking about this and that time that we were in Nicaragua and what we did and reading that, so it's just, there's nothing better.
At home, you go on service and you say a few words to the people at the doors and they slam the door in your face like right away, and they're not even really willing to listen to you. And here I can't even speak the same language as them, and they're willing to stand there and listen to what I have to say, and it's really different, and it's really encouraging to know that people want to listen to you and they're interested in what you have to say. So that's really encouraging.
Obviously, the ministry is a blessing. I think that we all mentioned. It's so different from the States. Of course, people listen and actually have respect for the Bible and for God. But it's really the brothers and sisters that have kept me here. Coming from a congregation back home of like 150, where you go out and service together, but here, coming from a congregation of like 30, you're a family. So that encouragement that we all give each other every day, and knowing that we all have the same goals, like we're living the same life, it's amazing. And also, just seeing Jehovah's hand in little things in everyday life. When you're having a bad day, you're missing home and your family, seeing him answer a prayer, like sending a friend to the house just to hang out and giving that encouragement. That builds your faith, and then like going on the route and having these big challenges, like you're not sure if you can make it up the mountain. But knowing that Jehovah helps you in the small things, he's going to help you in the big things. That's really
I never thought I'd be able to do this, go serve where the news began, or like even like pioneering. I never thought I'd be able to do that, especially like just like even like a few years ago, a few months ago, well, a year ago. It's really encouraging to meet the friends and their experiences, what they did, how their life has changed from serving where the need is greater, and what blessings they've received. I really see how Jehovah has helped me. It was hard for me to look past bad things do happen, it's these last days. So it's nice being able to be like, yeah, I can definitely see that joy is helping me. And it's really nice being here with the friends.
Well, when we first moved here, I was just a Jewelry Pioneer, and I really did not have the desire at all to really a Pioneer. It was hot and the sun was strong, and I wasn't trying to get any darker, so I'm gonna just get my 50 hours and call it a day. But no, the group was small. There was just 11 of us, and the majority of the friends were regular pioneering. And then there was this article in the Kingdom Ministry, and this was the most influential article of my life. It talked about how sometimes we just don't naturally have the desire to spiritually progress, but Jehovah wants us to pray about it. He understands. And so I made it my goal to pray about getting that motivation to pioneer. And looking back, it's not only did Jehovah help me to really a pioneer, but I went to pioneer school, and then I went on the route, and I never ever would have thought I would have been able to do that. And so if that's not a blessing, I don't know what it is.
One of my biggest blessings was to be able to do this with my family. And so we're not in a position at the moment to just pack up, sell up, and move. But Jehovah doesn't tell us that it's this taste and see, right? So you have a little taste here and a little taste there, and then instead of just going home and forgetting about the whole experience, then you can progressively work towards something like a goal.
Coming here as a father, to start with, to watch my kids express their faith to people that they don't even understand each other, just to see them standing up for Jehovah at the door, that's a blessing in itself. And there's nothing tops that for me. But just personal blessings, it's made me more, braver in the ministry, more courage. I do things now in the ministry back home that I never would have done without coming here. And that's just working with these guys. I've been at the ministry with them. They just instill courage. They're fearless. These young kids here, they just, hey Jehovah, I'm going to do this, and they do it. So why can't I do that? So I've taken that from everyone that I've worked with. I've stolen something from them. I hope they don't mind. But now I'm using it in the ministry. But just to come here as a family, as a dad, as a husband, to share this together, and just to see what this has done for the spirituality of me and my family. That's the blessing.
And I remember someone telling me when I came here the first time, for the first 2 weeks, if you give your all to Jehovah, you will never have any regrets.
She kind of stole the words out of my mouth. It is its own. When I go back to Canada, I feel awkward. I feel out of place, and it's like nobody knows what your life is here and what you experience when you're here. It's so different, and I feel like finally this is where I wanted to be. This is where I am. So you feel content. You feel like you sleep good at night. You don't have any regrets, and I just want to hopefully be able to, even if it's not here in Nicaragua, to be able to live this life on into the system, because I feel like it's just what I should be doing, what we all should be doing, really.
Just like we said, Nicaragua is home. I might not have my family here. I do have my grandfather here, but I don't have my mom or my brother. But it's home. And radiation makes it home. Just seeing how Jehovah really takes care of you. I can't see myself living in the States anymore. When I go back to the States, all I do is talk about Nicaragua. I feel like this is where I'm at my best spiritually, and I don't want to change that.
I like it here. I'm not really looking forward to going back. It's like people aren't going to hear or listen to what you're trying to say. I don't speak the same language.
My impression has changed a lot since my first impression. So the first couple of days I felt my impression was too high on the place. I I was kind of disappointed, but I opened myself up to the idea of how the people live here and everything, and I started to enjoy it a lot more. Like the first couple of days, I always wanted to go home, but after I met the congregation and went off, wasn't really huge on the kind of field service we were doing, but after the King and Paul, I met the congregation and everything, I loved it, and then this time it's been a lot better. Like I like the service we're doing a lot better, and I just like the atmosphere, like going to the market and how busy it is, and you're just walking down the street and everyone's yelling, it's really loud. I love it. And then going on like the taxi, going in the taxi not wearing a seatbelt, really fast down the street, knowing that there's like a really low chance you're probably going to survive, not get yeah, it's great.
Spiritually, it's very cool. Going to ministry is refreshing. It's not, you're not going up against people. You're not dealing with apathetic people. You're just dealing with people that are honest and have a lot of humility. And that is nice.
I wish everybody would stop saying that Nicaragua is cool because I'm just so fucked.
I love it here, and I love coming and seeing brotherhood. I just like how you feel when you go home that it just makes the brotherhood so much bigger, more. You just feel in tune with people. Like here, I feel in tune with people. I mean, they're my brothers back in Canada, but I just feel like everybody has the same goal here. Nobody's striving to be better than anybody else, not more than anybody else. It's just everybody's, I just feel equal here. And I like that. And I like the simple life. I'm a simple person. I'm okay here. I can fix it.
Yeah.
And I like that feeling of just feeling on an equal level with everybody. And I like that feeling. It's good.
When the first day we got here, first, the climate really changed and I was kind of scared to start the ministry. And then now I'm not really excited to leave. I want to stay here and keep doing this.
Like in the video, the girl said you get caught up in where you live and with the people and with your life in a small, like we're from a small-ish town, I guess, and you get caught up and you think that there's nothing really else out there for you. But when I come here, it's like you get like this whole perspective of like all these people around the world doing like completely different things. And coming here and being all together and going on the ministry, it's like eye-opening, and that's helped me a lot. I think I need to do that more often.
So only having been here 2 weeks, my impression has been coming fast, but their congregation and everybody I meet, I just feel the brotherly love between them, and they feel like family. I feel like I've known them forever. And the ministry to me has been a huge part of how I feel about here. And usually at the end of the trip, I'm kind of like, all right, I'm ready to go home now, and I don't have that feeling at all. So this is like, it's the place to be. I really like it.
It's really amazing here. The brothers and sisters and those who I can't even communicate with, because I don't speak a lot of Spanish. Like you can like see it on their face, like, oh, that's love, you know. And we wish you could communicate with them. So, and there's no greater honor than, you know, to worship Jehovah and to, you know, come here and to meet everybody. And I love it here. I could definitely stay here.
Well, I like everyone else. I really love it here. But me and my husband, we have to leave in 2 days. And that's not what I want to do. I want to stay here. So I want to be like the sisters who live here and call it home. I want to call this home. So I don't know, girl. It's weird because it's not what I expected from it, but knowing that I'm going to be more happy than my parents are fine, it just pushes me more into it.
1 years in the ministry of journalism has helped me to see that Jehovah's hand is in his organization. And I see his hand in my life. He's showing me where he needs me and where he needs to use me. So, you know, I feel satisfied knowing that this is the place for me. This is where I want to call this home.
When you experience Jehovah, when you experience the Spirit, and you actually stop thinking that, oh yeah, I did that, and you actually put the glory and the honor and the praise where it should be, it's very humbling. And then you see yourself as just another tool in the hand of Jehovah to be able to do with you as he pleases. And when you're ready to do that, when you can do that, it's amazing. So if it's taken that for me to finally realize that, to come here, then sorry I didn't do it beforehand, Jehovah, but now it's like wherever you want me, I'm going.
Natasha Dewar from Canada.
Bill Lund from Sydney, Australia.
Fred Lee, Canada.
And the last from USA.
Sal Switkowski from Wisconsin.
Stacy Lupton from Florida.
Martin Lee from Canada.
Chanel Estrada from Florida.
Loretta Rodriguez from Chicago.
Megan Lee from Canada.
Ron Johnson, Wisconsin.
Lynn Rikowski from Wisconsin.
Ashley Powell, Florida.
Samantha Lee from Canada.
Brianna Duvon from Chicago.
We're